over the past few months, I've been feeling really stressed out. I've just been feeling a ton of pressure about all the zillions of things that I have to do all the zillions of things that I have to get done over the course of the day. And probably if you're a mother, and I'm assuming that you're a mother, you can probably relate. Probably you're stressed out too. So I want to tell you about something so amazing and so potentially life-altering that I learned this week from Rabbi Ari Niven of the Personal Development Chaburas. It's something that this week has been helping me to feel a lot calmer. So I wanted to share it with you, and I hope that, and I really am praying and hoping that this is really going to help you too. So Rabbi Niven explains that, first of all, he explains that the number one secret to being successful in the world of action, as he calls it, is to learn how to live in the world of priorities. Meaning, in order to be more successful in what we're doing in life, then we have to learn how to establish and live in keeping with our priorities. So in order to do this, then Rabbi Niven explained a few things to us. This is easier said than done. So he explained, he told us about a very well-known principle from the world of business management, which is called the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule, which is something that I guess people in business and like CEOs are familiar with, is that 80% of business successes come from 20% of your efforts. Okay, so what Rabbi Niven explains, he applies this rule to the personal realm, to our lives. He explains that 80% of your successes as a person will come from 20% of the things that you do. So what Rabbi Niven explains is that really in life, the reason that we feel so pressured is that because mentally, we have like a we have a to-do list of 100 things. Even if you don't write it down, then like we're aware of 100 things that we have to get done over the course of the day. So the reason why we're driving ourselves crazy and feeling so pressured and so stressed out is because we're just going through this to-do list over the course of the day, and we're trying to get through everything. We're trying to get through all 100 things on our to-do list. But the more correct and the more effective way of living is to, in fact, only to live in keeping with the 80-20 rule, is to only do the top 20 things on your to-do list. Okay? Only to do your top 20 most important things over the course of the day. Okay? And then when you reach when you reach like 21, don't do 21, and don't do 24, and don't do 57. Mentally make another to-do list of 100 things. Okay? And only do the top 20 again. Okay, so your whole life, over the course of your whole day, you're only going to be dealing with the top 20 most important things. You're only going to be dealing with the things that are your top priorities. Okay, so Rabbi Niven gives what I think is a phenomenal metaphor in order for us to envision this. So Rabbi Niven, he talks about something called a tennis ball machine. Now, if you've ever been to a tennis club or a country club, then probably you've seen this at the tennis courts. They have something called a tennis ball machine. It's this machine which shoots out balls. And sometimes you can set it to shoot balls that you would like to hit back. You can set it to go slower. You can set it to go quicker, so that the tennis balls are coming all the time. So our lives are like we are like a tennis player hitting the balls in the tennis ball machine. And our goal, in order to live in the world of priorities, in order to live in this more, calm and successful way, is to only be hitting 20 out of 100 balls. Okay? So 20 of the balls that come at us, then we're going to hit them back. Those are our 20 priorities. And 80 of them, we're just going to say, okay, we just let them go over your head. So it's an amazing concept. And I've been trying to live this way this week. And it's not easy, but I really feel like I'm feeling a lot calmer and feeling like I'm actually getting the things done that are actually important. So I think it's an amazing idea. So how do you decide which 20 balls to hit back? So an important idea. It's one that Rabbi Niven he learned about it from Stephen Covey's series of his secrets for highly effective people. I've read many of his books, and I think that they're amazing, and I highly recommend them. But a very, very important concept in there is the 4 quadrants. So the first quadrant is things that are urgent and important. These are the things you have to do that are urgent and important. Okay? So urgent and important, they're like the no-brainers. Those are things like, you know, your baby's falling out of the high chair, or your toaster is on fire. Okay? So those are no-brainers. Those are things that, you know, those are the tennis balls that you have to hit back, and it's a no-brainer. Like those are ones that you should be hitting back, and that's great. Okay? That's a no-brainer. The quadrant 1 must be on your top 20 things to do. Okay? So I'm gonna skip quadrant 2 for the meantime. Quadrant 2 is important things that are important but urgent, important but not urgent, and that's a very important quadrant to speak about. So I'm gonna leave that for the end. Okay, going on to quadrant number 3, things that are urgent but not important. So if we're not careful, then we can spend our whole life doing things that are urgent but not important. Something that's urgent but not important, especially like as a mother, like your kids will come to you with things that are urgent. Ima, right now! You know, Ima, I need right now for you to go and buy, I need to go and buy a new sweater. I need a new sweater. I need the new sweater. But you know, it's May and your daughter has 10 other sweaters. It's really, it might be very, very urgent for her, but it makes like a lot of noise. You're urgent, but it's really, really not important. And if you start looking around at your life, you'll realize that a lot of things you're doing over the course of the day, a lot of the tennis balls you're actually hitting back, are things that are urgent, but really, really not important. Okay? They're actually balls you should just sort of like let go past your head. Quadrant number 4 is busy work. It's busy work. It's things that really, like, you really don't have to be spending time on. For example, you really don't have to be spending, you know, 20 minutes like reorganizing the icons on your desktop to make them like all orderly and nice. You really don't have to be doing it. It's really not urgent. It's not important either. Things that you can just sort of like let be. Okay? Let them go over your head. So going back to quadrant number 2, this is things that are important but not urgent, and these are the kind of things that are so easy. These are the kind of balls that are so easy to let them just fly over our head. But really, these are definitely the ones. These are definitely the things that we should These are definitely the tennis balls that we should be hitting back. These are things, for example, like finding time for finding time to learn Torah. Finding time to daven, to pray, finding time to like spend quality time with your husband, with your kids, quality time with your kids, finding time to call your parents, finding time to invest in things that are important. They're so important to you. Like these are like your highest values, right? But you don't find time for them because they are not urgent. So a good way to start getting used to doing these things that are important but not urgent is to start making a to-do list. Every day, spending 5 minutes. So this was our first assignment for this week for learning about this new concept. Rabbi Niven told us that we need to spend 5 to 10 minutes a day making a to-do list of our 5 top priorities for the coming day. Okay, so I've been doing this, and I just want to give you an example of what's on my five thing to-do list for today. Okay, number 1 thing is that I want to speak with my son's nursery school teacher about an important issue. The next thing is I need to speak with a non-profit organization in order to help a needy family in the neighborhood. It's a call that I've been putting off for about a week. The third thing is today is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Jewish moms. I want to send a Mother's Day video that my daughter made. I want to send it to my mother-in-law and to my mother. The fourth thing is I want to set up a time to Skype with my mother to wish her a happy Mother's Day. And the fifth thing is my son's birthday is this coming Shabbat. He's turning 4, and I want to stop by this afternoon and buy some presents for him. Okay. So there's nothing on this list which is my toaster is burning kind of thing. None of these things are important and urgent. These are all things that are like important but not urgent. They're the kind of things that I could just put that you know, like with all the tennis balls flying at me, I could just forget about them, and you know, and just not do them. But these are things that are very important, and by sitting down, sort of like attempting today to live in keeping with my priorities, then they're actually going to get done. Okay, so I want to bless all of us through living in keeping with the 80-20 rule, you know, letting 80 of those tennis balls just fly over your head, just don't look back, just let them fly by only hitting 20 of the tennis balls out of those hundreds of tennis balls, through learning to make through learning to see the difference between things that are important but not urgent, and things that are urgent but not important, that we should learn how to live in a way so that we will be calmer, and also living in a way that's much more successful, and much more that will actually be able to be calmer and also able to accomplish a lot more. So I want to bless all of you with a wonderful Mother's Day and with an amazing week.